All right, everybody. So we are currently Uber driving in Sarasota, Florida. It's 11 o'clock at night on a Friday, and it's actually been a pretty crappy start. I've taken 3 passengers, yet I've only made $24. That's actually $21. $21 for 3 passengers. That's a pretty crappy start to the evening. 11 o'clock on a Friday night, and I'm making less than $20 an hour. That's pretty pathetic. Now, if the 3 people that I had tipped, it would be a game changer. We'd be talking $34 an hour. So it isn't so much that there isn't enough rides, which there aren't either way, but if the people that we did have just simply were decent enough to leave a small tip, and I'm talking a $3 to $4 tip, it would be worth it. It's a difference between making $20 an hour and making $36 an hour. 11 o'clock at night on a Friday night. So is Uber driving really worth it? I mean, I feel like it's probably not worth it, to be honest. I'm very selective about driving at like peak hours, like Friday nights and Saturday nights and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll drive like at night just to get better gas mileage and not to be stuck in traffic. And a lot of Uber drivers are afraid of driving the schedules that I work and the places that I work because there's more risk involved. They're more dangerous. Like, I've met a lot of Uber drivers who tell me they will not drive at night because if it gets too dangerous. So it's definitely more dangerous at night. I like Uber driving. You get to meet people, and I'm out and about seeing what's going on in the city and stuff, and I get to meet people, and that kind of fills me in on what conversations I need to be focused on for my YouTube channel. It's a great source of information, but money, I feel like people need to tip more. And I know that Uber is kind of milking the life out of people on their end, so like Uber is actually currently, from what I've seen, paying drivers 30 to 40% of the total fare. It should probably be 70-30 in favor of the driver because we're doing most of the work. But it's understandable that people are getting, you know, price gouged by Uber, that they wouldn't leave any extra space for tipping. And that's probably why people aren't tipping, because they feel like the app is already expensive enough already. But it isn't expensive for the sake of the driver, it's expensive for the sake of Uber itself. And January is usually the worst month on YouTube. I'm guessing it's because they have to renew their contracts or something, but you know, it's not a great month on YouTube. So I figured, well, at least January we'll have more Uber passengers so I can make up the difference on Uber. But look at this. This is a Friday night in Sarasota, and the Uber app is barely moving. But I never thought it would be this depressing to be on the island. You know, it's not the same fun place it used to be. It's definitely different. It's not a fun vibe anymore. It's sad. So this has been like the worst tourist season I have ever seen in Florida. Like, literally, this is Siesta Key on a Friday night. I know the hurricanes were brutal on us, and well, it is sad to say that this literally has to be the worst tourist season that I have ever seen down here by far ever. I mean, literally, this is Siesta Key on a Friday night. So this is like by far like the most depressing thing I've ever seen in Sarasota. This year, tourism is absolutely dead. There's literally like almost nobody out here. Like, just take a look around. It's literally empty. This place last year at the same time would have been absolutely packed. Very sad, yeah. Hurricane, a million different things. But yeah, it's usually a fun place. I'm doing a story on how dead it is out here. It's called Southern Life. You guys local or you guys live here? Yeah, Southern Life, and I interview homeless people a lot. I do stories on Florida news. Nuts. Look at this. Nobody on Siesta Key. So sad. We ate here one time, it sucked. It's not really good seafood. Just stand on the road if you wanted to. That's how empty it is out here right now. That's right, man. Hey, get your money right driving that Hyundai. Yes, nobody on the island. It's totally empty on the island. What the crap. All right, guys, so it is 1 a.m. now. I was just live streaming here on the island, and now we're waiting to see if something comes up on the Uber app. So far, nothing is coming up, but there is a bar in front of us that I do feel will be vacating soon. There's an Uber driver coming up behind me. Hopefully, now we got some competition here. Okay, I was the only Uber driver here, but that guy is an Uber driver. Listen to me, where some of these Uber drivers, they'll park right in front of the bar. So I decided to leave Siesta Key because after waiting for about 20 minutes, I couldn't get any Uber passengers, but there was a line of Uber drivers. It really seemed like a waste of time. So far, now I'm seeing myself driving all the way from Siesta Key to downtown Sarasota. I had the Uber app on the whole way, and there was no passengers anywhere. So it's been possibly one of the worst tourist seasons I've ever seen. And really, if you're Uber driving here in Florida right now, you could practically starve. And yes, we had the hurricanes, and then we also have a pretty cold weather day. But come on, guys, it didn't matter what. Like, Siesta Key used to be completely packed, and now it's completely vacant. So we arrived at downtown Sarasota at about 1:45 in the morning. And downtown Sarasota is a hangout spot for the locals, not so much for tourists. Now, during season, it's a mix of locals and tourists. I'm pretty sure there was almost no tourists in downtown Sarasota. By now, there were a lot of homeless people walking around, and you can see another Uber driver parked right here. You can see he's got the Uber sticker in the front. So again, it's just there's more Uber drivers than there are passengers. Now, downtown Sarasota was still pretty active, and there was a lot going on for the fact that it's almost 2 in the morning. But if you compare it to what Sarasota is usually like during this time of year, it's completely dead. And again, this isn't some small town in Nebraska. It's a beach town in Florida during the winter after Christmas. By now, it should have really picked up and been very busy. So I know we had the hurricanes, like I said, and we've had a cool night, but it's just going to be a very difficult year for people in Florida who depend on tourism. Now, I've been asking people locally, hey, you know, that's an Uber driver right there as well on the left. I've been asking people that work in hotels and restaurants, like, how's it going? They're, oh, it's going great, blah, blah, blah. But no, it's not. It used to take like an hour and 45 minutes to drive from Lakewood Ranch to Siesta in the daytime, and you could probably pull it off in like 45 minutes. So there's a huge volume of snowbirds who have not arrived to Florida yet. And they've been having milder winters up north over the last few years, which means people are not planning to come to Florida because there's days where it might be 70 degrees literally in Detroit during the winter. It's been happening a lot. So, of course, it's been difficult and challenging for a lot of people here in Florida. We depend on tourism practically, and tourism is starting to disappear. Just about everybody here was local. In fact, if you just look at the car scene, you can tell that these are locals, not tourists, by the types of cars that are out here. And, you know, there's somebody literally offered me something for sale while I'm walking through Siesta Key, which is kind of weird that somebody would offer you that, you know, but it's just a blatant thing. Lots of homelessness, lots of people offering you stuff for sale. I don't understand what these people are thinking, offering a complete stranger that stuff, but apparently they're not afraid to go to jail. So this is downtown Sarasota now before 2 a.m. You can see that there's people out and about walking, but it's just the local crowd. It isn't the crowds we get during the winter. So it's definitely very different than usual for this time of year. And a lot of people aren't even drinking as usual because normally you'll find parking spots. Even if it's completely packed, you'll be able to get a parking spot because nobody's driving to downtown because everybody's drinking. But if you pay attention, I couldn't find too many parking spots in downtown Sarasota, which goes to show that there are locals who are not drinking, and that means that literally it's just totally different than usual. Like, normally it'll be packed out here, but you'll be able to find parking spaces simply because the people that are here now are young people who are probably not drinking, versus most of the time you'll be able to find a parking space this late very easily because most people out here are drinking and taking an Uber. So like I said, this is a completely different vibe than the usual. You can see the car with the big rims. That's a Jaguar. I have never seen this car in Sarasota or Branson. I almost feel like that's a car from St. Petersburg right over there. It looks like something you'd see in St. Pete, but not sure. Alright guys, so it's about 1:30 in the morning and I could not get any Uber rides, but we are in downtown Sarasota now. We're gonna get some hot dogs. Check out the ride over there. I think these guys are from St. Pete. I don't think this car's from Sarasota. Check out the wheels on this ride right here. Pretty cool. Like some 30s or something right there. That's some St. Pete looking type of crap right there. Look at that. It's like a Jag. Pretty sure that's from somebody from St. Pete. That's kind of like a St. Pete thing more than Sarasota. Jags. Let's get something to eat here. Katie wants me to bring her a hot dog, so we'll see if I don't know how I'm going to carry 2 hot dogs, but I'll try. 1:30 in the morning, almost 1:40 practically. 1:40 in the morning. So I'm gonna get some hot dogs and then go home, I guess. Katie wants me. I would have actually stayed Uber driving later, but Katie wants me to bring home a hot dog. It means, well, if I got to bring her that, I can't drive around with hot dogs in the car, so we'll have to call it on that, which is fine. Uber's been this crappy, it ain't worth it. But you can see like there's more nightlife here in downtown than there is in Siesta Key, but this is kind of like the locals scene more than like tourists.
That's what we want to do. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Good thing is to get to this line before 2 a.m. because after 2 a.m. everybody gets out of the nightclubs, and then when they get out of the nightclubs, they'll be, hey, how you doing? I know. You want me to get you a hot dog?
I don't need hot dogs.
All right, I got you, honey. All right, no problem. All right, no, I don't buy those type of things for people. Oh, it's just a hot dog place. Let's get some hot dogs. All right, y'all, so I'm sitting here in downtown. I turned the Uber app back on. It'd be nice if I can get a ride back to the house. I got a hot dog from the hot dog place. I love the hot dogs downtown. It's like $10 a hot dog. I got one here for Katie for later on. And this is literally my dinner tonight, just a hot dog. 1:54 a.m. eating a hot dog in downtown Sarasota in the car with the Uber app on. I would hope I can get an Uber ride maybe from here back to Lakewood Ranch or, you know, just out of this area of downtown, but no rides, literally. Like, I'm still here waiting for rides and there's nothing. So we got some police officers here walking around and some homeless people, so this is gonna go interesting here. I got 3 giant cops here. These cops are like 6 foot tall. Those are some big cops. I think there's people panhandling aggressively. So the cops, they didn't say anything, but like 6 foot cops, man. These guys are like security guards. So hot dogs for later for Katie. Cops are practically security guards. Here we go. Perfect. Right off my exit too. Let's get this.
Head to your pickup at 710 North Lemon Avenue.
Let's go. I got a ride. And it's heading back towards the area where I live. So this couldn't be more. It's really rare to get a ride right back to where I live. It's right off my exit, so this will be great. But there's people panhandling aggressively, and the cops, I guess, came out to kind of like just stare them down. Biggest cops I've ever seen. But I got my hot dogs right here.
Turn left on North Lemon Avenue.
I got one for Katie and then another one. I got 2 for me, I'm not gonna lie. I know that sounds like a lot of food, 2 hot dogs, but it's literally all I'm having for dinner. 1 now, and then 1 for later. So I'm excited because this pickup is going literally to my exit. It's so hard to get somebody to get a ride right back to my exit. It's almost impossible. So I know I haven't made a lot of money on Uber tonight, but at least this person's going in the same direction I am. And like I said, that's really difficult. It's really hard to get somebody going in the same direction as me, so not bad. It's been a really bad day on Uber, and hopefully this person behaves. We got to find them. Chances are, if they're drinking, they're going to be a bundle of joy if they're drinking. What I do when they're drinking is I play loud music, and that kind of helps alleviate their struggle.
In 1/4 mile.
Very
turn
dangerous
right.
at night, lots of DUIs. We got passengers, and they're not where they're supposed to be. Oh, don't tell me this is the same thing as last time. I had somebody do this to me not that long ago where like they were supposed to be over here, but then they weren't over here. And this is the same exact parking lot. I think I made a video about this. It's somebody who says they're here, but then they're not. So hopefully that's not the situation. We'll see. Hopefully they are actually here, because I've had this in this parking lot. I guess it's an Uber driver that runs a scam or something, or I don't know what it is. But I've seen this happen quite a bit where like the person's supposed to be here, but then they're not. Alright, so don't beat that thing up. What are you doing?
Huh?
Don't beat that thing like that.
It won't go in though.
Just, I can hit it with my truck if you want to. So I got an Uber passenger, two girls. They're inside the Wawa. Normally I would say no to unplanned stops like this, especially time-consuming stops. Like they've been there for a while, but it's cool because they live off the same exit that I do. So I got the windows down even though it's cold because my hot dogs made the car. I forgot the car smells like hot dogs. So they're in there buying food, which is kind of weird. I'm sure the Uber app will eventually be like, what's going on here? But regardless, the passengers are in there buying food. They live right off my exit. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. Hopefully they give me an extra tip for being cool. And if they don't, it doesn't matter. They're going to the same exit I'm going. Like literally, they're practically my neighbors, so I'm not going to make a big deal out of this. I'm sure the Uber app will eventually freak out, wondering why I'm not moving. So in fact, let me move a little bit, just so that geographically the Uber app thinks I'm moving. I'm actually going to park over here so that the Uber app sees that we're moving. Do I need help? Yeah, there it goes. It thinks I'm in trouble. Is everything okay? Yes, we're good. Yeah, it says okay. So the Uber app's like trying to figure out why we're sitting here for so long. Sometimes the Uber app thinks you got hurt or something. No, we're good. Good. But it's an unplanned stop, and they'll get in the car soon. Normally I don't do this, but again, they live right off my exit. I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. Besides, Uber's so slow tonight that I'm just glad I got a ride. Period. And that's kind of sad to say that. I think tonight I've made like $10 an hour. I think they're coming, so let's go. All right, so we dropped off our last passengers here in Lakewood Ranch. You can see there's a bunch of deer on the road. There's always like a lot of deer out here at night. There they go. Bunch of deer. Oh dear. Guys, I only made $32 in 2.5 hours. That is absolutely pathetic. Nobody tipped me today. No tips at all. 0 tips.